Hope you guys had an okay time with numbers 12 to 17. We're going to move down to the last portion of this lesson with the last video. I'm going to write some notes down, 1, 2, and 3 on the back, and then afterwards I'll show you guys how to tackle problems like 10 and 11, and then the rest of the time will be for you guys to finish the homework classwork assignment. Okay, so we did the first part, which is verifying solutions, which is this part over here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do an overview of the three graphs, which we sort of kind of did over here, but we're going to just kind of lightly draw and state their names and some of their patterns. Okay, so the first part is types of linear graphs or lines. So you could have a couple lines like this and this, so slanted lines, and I think on your previous math courses you've graphed a couple of them. So we're just going to generalize them a little bit. So not only that this is a line, but this is an increasing line, okay, because it's going up. If we read it from left to right, it's going up like this, okay. And then if it has a slant like this, and we'll talk about slopes a little bit later, of course, in quarter 1, quarter 2. Then this is going to be a decreasing line. Okay. There are two more lines over here that we can, even though it's not going to be on the classwork homework, it will appear a little bit later. So we have horizontal lines. And then we also have vertical lines as well. Okay, we're not done yet with number 7 because we are going to have to see what type of equation we can come up with some of these. In general, your increasing lines, and I'm just going to write a general equation, you could write something like y equals mx plus b. Notice that this is going to be a positive over here, positive number. So say for example, as an example, you can write y equals 3x minus 2. So if you see that number in front of the variable and it is positive, then it is going to be an increasing line. So positive value in front of the x, it is an increasing line. So this b value over here, if you kind of remember from previous courses, this is your y-intercept, but your y-intercept will not affect the way the line is either increasing or decreasing. Okay, so look for that number in front of the variable, and if it's positive, it's going to be increasing. Decreasing line, and we could write it like this, it's going to be negative mx plus b. Okay, so that means that this number over here is going to be negative. So as an example, y is equal to, let's say, negative 2x plus 2. So notice that the number in front of the x is negative, and if that is so, then you're going to have a decreasing line without plugging in all these numbers. So what I'm trying to show you guys for numbers 7, 8, and 9 is some patterns that you guys can see. If you can see that the numbers in front is either positive or negative, then it will dictate what type of line it is. So if it's a positive in front of the x, it's going to be an increasing line. If it's a negative number in front of the x, it's going to be a decreasing line. And it doesn't matter about the y-intercept, the b value. It just matters what m value is. Okay. Like I said, we're not going to do horizontal and vertical lines over here, not too much, but we are going to tackle this a little bit later, but we're just going to write down y equals b. So say, for example, y is equal to 3. So that's an equation that you could see. Vertical lines is x equals a. So these are just numbers. Okay, so for example, x equals 2. We'll see them again one more time, but not today. More importantly, we will see the increasing and decreasing lines. Okay, so that is that for number 7. Let's go move on now to number 8. Second type of an overview of the functions, the graphs that you will see, is a quadratic graph or a parabola. So maybe on your previous courses, you have dealt with it, but if this is your first time, it is totally fine. So I'm only going to give you guys two types. We have the regular one that looks like this, and then we kind of have like the one that kind of like an umbrella almost. So, you know, we have like the happy face one, and we got the sad face one, okay? I'm going to write a general equation for this. So maybe y is equal to ax squared plus c. And then I'm going to write a general equation for this one. Y is equal to negative ax squared plus c. Okay. Usually we just say that this is a parabola. Okay. We can also give it a nickname. My nickname, because it looks like a letter that I know, U shape. Okay, so usually if it's a U shape, I'm going to call it a parabola. Okay. The technical term for this sad face over here is an inverted parabola. Oh, let me just move this over here. Inverted parabola. Or an upside down U shape, or upside down U. Okay. So number 7 was all about lines increasing and decreasing. Now we have two types of parabolas. You have the U shape that's facing up, and we have the inverted parabola, upside down U facing down. Okay, now take a look at how the equations are going to match up. So very similar to the lines, it doesn't matter the n values, these plus c's over here. All that really matters, and hopefully you guys can see the pattern, is what's in front of the x squared. Okay, notice also parabolas have x squares. Okay, so notice that. Okay. They have that exponent of an x squared. As opposed to lines, take a look at the lines. Did it have, I'm going to flip back, did it have an x squared? No, it's just plain x's. Okay, so that's going to be the difference between your lines and your parabolas. All right, let me just give you guys an equation of an example. So an example equation could be y is equal to 2x squared plus 3. Okay. And if you notice, it is positive. So if the number in front of the x squared is positive, it's going to face upwards. It's going to be a regular U-shaped parabola. So it doesn't matter what this value is, it just matters what in front of the x squared value is. Okay? As opposed to this type of an example here, maybe we could have something like y is equal to negative 1/3 x squared plus 3. Take a look at what's in front of the x squared. Is it positive or negative? It is negative. Okay. So a negative value in front of the x squared is going to tell you that, hey, this parabola is going to be facing down. Let's actually just take a small break, and even though I said that there's going to be just only 2 videos, I think I've been teaching for a little bit long, so let's just kind of just take a small break, and I am going to make a 3rd video, but let's just take a 2-minute break before you guys head on to the next video.